Simisola was born into a world that felt more like a prison than a home. She was the first daughter in a family that never wanted her. Her parents often took their frustration out on her. Any slightest mistake would earn her a slap or a harsh word. And her younger siblings, influenced by their parents, would join in the torment, treating her like an outsider in a place she called home. Every day was a battle for Simisola. She learned to navigate her parents' anger, always tiptoeing around her parents and trying to avoid the wrath that seemed to hang over her like a dark cloud. Her mother would often scream at her, calling her a burden, while her father would dismiss her with a wave of his hand, as if she were nothing more than an annoyance. The love that should have surrounded her was replaced by hatred. Her eye is always filled with questions, fear, and tears. Despite the pain, Simisola was determined to escape. She was doing well in school, finding comfort in her studies. Books became her refuge, a place where she could dream of a life beyond the walls of her home. With each passing year, her resolve grew stronger. She knew that education was her only ticket to freedom. When she was done with secondary school, she started doing different jobs to save money for her university fees because her parents already told her they won't train her in school. She was accepted into a prestigious university, and with a mixture of excitement and fear, she left home, vowing never to return again. It was never easy for her in school. She was doing different part-time jobs to take care of her needs while studying. She didn't give up because she was determined to succeed. She graduated with honors, and after graduation, she never went back home because there was never a home for her. Her hard work paid off as she secured a job at a reputable firm. So the moment she began to succeed, her family reappeared in her life. They started calling, sending messages, and even tried to visit. But Simisola never gave them any attention. She blocked their numbers, refusing to let them back into her life. The hatred she felt for them was a shield, protecting her from the pain of her past. She became known as a mean boss at the office. Her cold and mean look made her employees to be afraid of her. They learned quickly that there was no room for mistakes under Simisola's watchful eyes. Different men were also asking her out, but she never paid any attention to them. Years passed, and Simisola built a reputation as a formidable leader. Yet, beneath her tough exterior, a storm raged within her. She received series of letters from her mother, but she never opened them. Each envelope was a reminder of the family she had left behind, a family that had caused her so much pain. She threw them aside, convinced that there was nothing they could say that would change her feelings. So one fateful day, while searching for a particular document in an office, Simisola stumbled upon one of her mother's letters. It was slightly crumpled, the edges worn from being removed around. Curiosity kicked in. She wanted to discard it, but finally decided to open it. As she read the words, her heart raced. The letter was a confession from her mother, detailing the circumstances of her birth. Simisola learned that she was the product of a violent act. Her mother had been raped by an armed robber. The man she had called her father was not her biological father. He had married her mother years later, and the truth had been buried deep within the family's shame. The revelation hit her like a wave, crashing over her with a force she had never anticipated. Tears streamed down her face as she processed the information. The anger and resentment that had fueled her for so long began to disappear. replaced by a profound sense of sorrow. She realized that her mother had suffered too, trapped in a circle of pain and fear. With this newfound understanding, Simisola embarked on a journey of self-discovery. She sought therapy, allowing herself to confront her past and the emotions she had long suppressed. Slowly, she began to forgive, not for her parents' sake, but for her own. She learned that forgiveness was not about excusing behavior. It was about freeing herself from the chains of resentment that had bound her for so long. As she continued to read her mother's letters, she found herself softening. Each letter revealed more about her mother's struggles, her regrets, and her longing for connection. Simisola began to see her mother not as the enemy, but as a flawed human being who had made mistakes too. The walls she had built around her heart began to crumble, allowing compassion to seep in. So one fateful day, she made the decision to reach out. She called her mother, her heart pounding in her chest. When her mother answered, there was this mildness in her voice, a mix of fear and hope. "Simisola," she whispered, as if afraid to believe it was truly her daughter on the line. "Yes, Mom," Simisola replied, her voice steady, yet filled with emotion. "I've read your letters. I want to really understand." The silence that followed was heavy, with years of unspoken words and unresolved pain. Finally, her mother spoke, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry for everything, my daughter. I never wanted to hurt you. I was scared and lost, and I didn't know how to love you the way you deserved." Simisola felt a wave of empathy wash over her. In that moment, she realized that her mother's action had been shaped by her own trauma. They were both victims of circumstances beyond their control. "I want to forgive you," Simisola said, her heart opening to the possibility of healing. "But I need to hear your story." They arranged to meet, and as Simisola walked into the cafe where they agreed to meet, her heart raced. Her mother sat at a corner table, looking frail and vulnerable. As they exchanged glances, Simisola felt a mix of apprehension and hope. They spent hours talking, sharing their pain and regrets. And for the very first time, Simisola saw her mother as a person rather than a source of hurt. As they spoke, the barriers that had kept them apart began to dissolve. Simisola learned that her mother's struggles, the shame that had haunted her for years, and the love she had always wanted to give, but didn't know how. In turn, Simisola shared her own journey, the battle she had fought to become the woman she was. With each conversation, the wounds of the past began to heal. Simisola discovered that her siblings too had been shaped by the same toxic environments, and they were eager to understand her perspective. She reached out to them, slowly rebuilding the bridges that had been burned. And as time went on, the family began to gather for small reunions, each one filled with laughter and shared stories. Simisola found herself smiling more often, her heart lightening as she embraced the family bonds she had long denied herself. The once mean boss transformed into a mentor, guiding her employees with kindness and empathy, encouraging a workplace where everyone felt valued. Simisola's journey of forgiveness not only changed her relationship with her family, but also reshaped her identity. She learned to love herself, to accept her past, and to embrace the possibility of a brighter future. The walls she had built around her heart crumbled, allowing joy and connection to flow in. In the end, Simisola became a beacon of hope for others who had faced similar struggles. She always shares her story, inspiring those around her to confront their own pain and seek healing. Her life became a testament to the power of forgiveness, proving that even the most broken hearts could find a way to love again. Now we have come to the end of another beautiful story. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye for now.